My name is Steve Layton, and I travel the world finding amazing and delicious coffee for you to drink at home. Some make coffee difficult to understand and complicated, but here it's my job to make it easy and fun and tell you what's in my mug. Hello everybody and welcome to In My Mug, episode 430. My name is Steve Layton and this guy's name is Ernesto Mendez.
Hello. I'm very happy to stay with Steve right now, is sharing this time with you and sharing this cup of coffee.
It's really good.
Yeah, this is Ilusion, and I'm really happy to try the coffee roasted by Steve. I hope that we can spend a little time here about talking about coffee.
That's fantastic. Yeah. So you guys will know this. They know you already because like every time I do your coffee on In My Mug, like I'm always so excited to talk about you and the work you do on Ilusion.
Thank you.
I want to start off by asking you like how you came to own Ilusion. So how you came to be your land.
Yeah, talk about a little bit of Ilusion is for me is a very special farm. You know. Was the opportunity to know you. You buy the coffee a long time ago, and we are trying to make a good relationship for a long time.
Well, it's our 10-year anniversary this year.
10 years. Yeah, it's amazing. When you see to come back, it's a long time ago. I'm really happy to stay with you and talk a little bit about the Ilusion. Right now we are in the Los Andes National Park, maybe 5 minutes from Ilusion farm, and we stay here and enjoy this amazing cup of coffee.
Just had an amazing picnic as well. I've managed to eat my own body weight in sandwiches. It's
thank you very much for sharing my coffee roasted by you. It was tasting amazing. It's different when you are trying your coffee roasted by myself and roasted by you. It's totally different.
Well, your coffee earlier was fantastic that we had from Los Andes. So tell me about the farm. What varietals do you have on the farm?
Right now we are, the farm is planted with orange Bourbon, red Bourbon, and a few SL28 coffee trees too. And we are keep the same percent of each variety right now. Is the variety that we are producing for the last 10 years. We are planning renew the farm with small areas with SL28, orange Bourbon, red Bourbon, and a few maybe geisha trees too. This is to the future. It's a project that we are trying to do in the future, and right now we are in the middle of the crop. In the morning we taste the new crop, and right now we are hoping maybe spend 1.5 months more to finish the crop.
And very exciting. Ernesto has said today that he will do us some of the natural from Ilusion, which we didn't have last year. We just had the washed.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of the natural. I know lots of people who are watching this are big fans of the natural, so it's going to be exciting to see some of that this year as well.
Yeah, for me, it's, the natural is very special from Ilusion. I remember that was part of the routine that used Alejandro Mendez and was roasted by you, and was amazing. It's not usually that we did a natural process, and this year we have coffee to do natural, maybe 20 bags.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And I hope that you can enjoy this year of the natural again.
So I tell you, one person who'll be really happy about that is Colin Harmon, who's my business partner in Ireland, because he loves the natural. But for those who don't know, the Alejandro Mendez, who he just mentioned, is the World Barista Champion 2011, and he used your washed coffee for the espresso and the signature drink, but for the cappuccino he used the natural. And it's one of the most mind-blowing cappuccinos I think I've ever had. It was just so strawberry-like and so
very
full of flavour, just amazing. full of flavour, we should talk about the coffee that we've got here in front of us, because this is the washed. It's the Bourbon from Ilusion, which, as we said, it's 5 minutes that way.
It's very close.
Very close. You could walk there from here. I mean, it's an amazing cup. It's for me, I always get the sweetness and the complex acidity at the same time, which I find is unusual for a coffee.
Yeah, you know, the Ilusion is maybe the farm that always you can find every year. That's very same profile of flavor. Yeah. Right now you can taste very sweet.
Yeah.
The acidity is sparkly.
Yeah.
Always the fruit salad profile of flavor. You know.
Exactly the descriptors I use is the fruit salad and the like a sparkling lemonade almost. Yeah. It's like effervescent.
The acidity always is the very sparkling. You know, and always in the aftertaste you can find the balance of the sweetness, and you can feel the acidity coming again, or the flavors is always have a little bit complex profile of flavors, but always you can taste the different tropical fruit blending.
Exactly.
And this is maybe one of the most important characteristic of my farm, is that every year you keep the same profile of flavors, and always we are trying to do the same process, try to not change anything in the process, to try to keep the same profile. And
it's a question I get asked. So when your coffee arrives and I cup it, I tend to come up with the same descriptors, but that's just because it's so consistent, and I think that's amazing. Before we talk some more, I'm going to send you to go and look at the map bit so you can see exactly where we are and where this is on the Santa Ana volcano. And when we come back, Ernesto is going to tell us a little bit about Santa Ana and why it's so special for coffee in El Salvador. So I'll be back with you in a second. And welcome to this week's map bit. I'm not in has-been again, I'm in El Salvador. Oh well, we're going across the Atlantic and we are going to the beautiful, wonderful country of El Salvador, one of my favourite coffee producing regions, where I have lots and lots of friends. We can see there, smack in the heart, is San Salvador, which is the capital. But also El Salvador is known as the land of volcanoes. It frequently has earthquakes and volcanic activity. I think the last volcanic eruption was 2005 or 6 or something like that, which was a fairly big eruption. And this is on the Santa Ana volcano. Here we have the farm, Finca La Ilusion. It is towards the top of said volcano. Here are the drying patios. These are some of the pictures I took while I was on the farm recently. This is the guys picking the coffee and delivering super red ripe cherries. Here's the pathway that walks through. This is the farm manager and Ernesto together on the farm. I hope they're still there. Can we see them? No, you can't see them. Now, you think, you said it was towards the top. The rest of that mountain there is the Los Andes National Park, which is can't be planted on, is protected land. And that was this week's map bit. So now you know where we are. Ernesto, tell us a little bit about why Santa Ana is the volcano is so important for coffee in El Salvador.
I think that we are very we have the big opportunity, how farmer, to enjoy these lands. Because Santa Ana is around of many volcanoes. Is one of the best land in El Salvador to plant coffee. Yeah. We have the soil is very deep, very soft. It's coming from it's a blend of different, it's very volcanic soil. Is one of the best characteristics of the soil in Santa Ana. Yeah. And I think there is a big difference with other areas in in El Salvador, Santa Ana I think that we have the altitude. Mm-hmm. We have the microclimate perfect to plant coffee. Yeah. And we have these beautiful slopes, volcanoes together. You can find, right now we are in the national park, that 2 volcanoes. Mm-hmm. We have in between 3 volcanoes. And, we have great soils, volcanic soil. That I think is the one of the things that make the difference with other areas in El Salvador.
I agree so much, and I just think that Santa Ana is almost it's its own. Like you talk about El Salvador coffee, but I think you talk about Santa Ana on its own because it is so unique and such special coffee. And this for me is one of the most special ones because just the altitude that you have here is pretty much as high as you can go on Santa Ana, isn't it?
Yeah, in the north sides right now we are in the north sides of the Santa Ana volcano. I think the Ilusion is maybe the more higher farm planted with coffee in this side of the volcano. We are in the 60 or very close to 17.
Yeah.
70,
1770, yeah. No, it's super high for farmers here. Now, before we go on any more, I'm just going to send you guys now to go and look at the fact file, and then we're going to come back and finish up. So I'll be back with you in a second. The fact file. Be prepared to be factified. But the figures may change because we may have got them wrong. But let's go down to El Salvador and learn some things about this as a country. So, how much of the land is devoted to coffee? Well, it's 165,000 hectares, which is around about 12% of the entire country in coffee trees. They are the 14th biggest coffee producer in the world. Their total coffee production, it ranges between 2 million and it's down to about 700,000, but 1.3 is kind of the average. Common varietals, you've got Bourbon, Pacas, Pacamara. Pacas and Pacamara particularly were found in El Salvador. They real are Salvadorian varietals. 70% of the production is Bourbon. 155,000 people employed by coffee, and we work with 1 billion farms. Well, 18, but we work with a lot of farms in El Salvador, but this is definitely one of my favourites. So Finca Ilusion, owned by Ernesto Mendez. It's a Bourbon, it's a washed, it's on the Apaneca mountain range, stroke Santa Ana, altitude 750 to 1800 metres. That was the fact file. So that's the fact file. So Ernesto, I honestly, this is my opportunity, with everybody watching, because they want me to say this to you, but thank you so much for the coffee that you produce. The relationship we have, I think, is super special, but the coffee is just consistently amazing. And I personally love working with you. As you saw in my top 10 of last year, this was my favourite coffee.
Thank you so much.
No, honestly, no-brainer.
For me, when I saw the video, I spent the best day of the year enjoying your video, and thank you very much for your words. I enjoyed the video. Your comments are very nice for me. Always are. For me, it's like a push on me to try to make my best effort every year, and this is small things. Always we are talking that make the difference. When you receive the support or your comments. Your appreciation for our coffees, and we are very happy, and we all try to effort every year to try to produce the same quality or very close. It's not easy to try to replicate every year, but always we are trying to do the same things or try to offer the same quality of coffee, and we are really happy to work with you, and I hope that we are working for a long time. I
hope so too, and I think I'm not the only person that this is one of their favourite coffees of this year. I've had umpteen people tell me this is that one of their favourite ever coffees, and I think please keep doing what you're doing, because I absolutely adore it, and I love working with you. And we've got the other farms as well, which we've got Alaska, we've got Los Brumas as well. So it is fantastic, and each one completely different. Enough loving. Thank you very much for this, mate. I know you're not comfortable on camera. You are. Your English is absolutely amazing, and I'm so pleased.
That it's not easy for me speaking English. It's not my only a few English few times in the years, but I hope that the people understand my bad English. Your English, I'm sure, is better than their, and definitely my Spanish. So it's fantastic. Thank you for the sample of coffee. I really enjoy. I hope that enjoy with my family today. And fantastic. Yeah, it was really nice cup of coffee. I enjoy a lot of. Always is really for me. have the opportunity to taste my coffee roasted by other people, and you know that I love your work, your roast is totally different. You develop a lot of things different that I always sometimes we copy and we roast or use a small roasted, and it's totally different.
Well, I only develop what you put in there, so
thank
you do all of the hard work, my friend. You really do.
Thank you, because I enjoy a lot of beautiful coffee today with
That's
you.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Well, I've enjoyed your company very much, and thank you for joining me. And do remember, life is definitely too short for bad coffee.